Good evening, everyone. I want to give people the chance to get in, and I am doing something a little different for myself using this OneStream software, and I am trusting that this is coming through loud and clear. I am here tonight to talk about, manifesting money. That's really it. That is our conversation tonight, is manifesting money. It is a new year. This is the perfect time when people start thinking about how they can do their finances differently, how they can show up differently. And so I am here for it. All right, I've got a couple things for you this evening, but I'm looking forward to our conversation. So first, I just want to welcome you in. I want to give everybody a chance to get in. I want to check my live streams, make sure they're good. All right, we are live. Yep, there we are. Make sure I don't. All right. All right, it's going to be a good night. Good night. I'm excited. I look forward to this conversation. I cannot wait to share with you the things that I have this evening. I'm going to be doing sharing with you a talk that I did that I thought was really powerful for an organization where I just talked about sowing seeds. And so I want to share that with you and really just helping you to get that you are always supply, that you always have whatever it is that you need. And I think that's so important because this has been, a really challenging last year, 2 years. We're 2 years into this pandemic. Can you believe it? Like this time, so today is January 23rd. We were 3 days away from the tragic, death of Kobe Bryant. But then shortly after that, we began to get reports, those first early reports about this pandemic, this virus, this thing that was going around. And we really didn't know what it was. We really didn't even have an idea of what we were looking at. Nobody knew, it just was coming out. I remember the reaction that I had to it. I know like the one thought that I had was that this is not going to stop me. Like that was the one thought I had. But now we're 2 years into this and there is no clear this is going to be over. We can't get on the same page about it. There's tons of fighting about it. And in the midst of that uncertainty, it can feel like, gosh, what is happening and how do I get a handle on it? And how do I get back to work and get back to creating abundance in my experience? And so that's what I want to talk about today. I want to share that with you. And so I'm excited for you to be here. Tell you a little bit about who I am. I am the senior minister of an incredible community called Understanding Principles. And I have been in the ministry now for about half my life. Probably about half my life. I started in studying this message, this universal message of oneness, more than 20 years ago. I think I was about 20, 25, 26, somewhere around there. I started studying this message and it just resonated with me. I heard Reverend Della, and specifically I heard Reverend Mary Tumpkin, and that message just made sense. And so ever since then, I've been on this path of understanding spiritual abundance. And then recently I added to the hat that I wear, which is financial professional. And so I have my license for insurance, and I'm also working on my Series 65 and other licenses to be a full financial advisor. There is something about this abundance question that my life is about. I realize I've been thinking about a lot about this, and maybe that's just the nature of being the beginning of the year, thinking about like, what do I represent? And I feel like that space that I represent is the space that was left open by the Reverend Edwin Gaines of the world, the Reverend Ikes of the world, the Reverend Catherine Ponders of the world, where they talked about abundance. And the difference that I bring is the credential of being a financial professional. And so it's exciting to me to talk about abundance, to help you understand some practical ways that you can have abundance in your experience. So that's who I am. That's my journey. That's what I've been on, and I'm happy that you are here this evening. So there are three things that I want to share with you, and I talk about these all the time when it comes to wealth and when it comes to money. And this is true whether you are talking about spiritual abundance or whether you are talking about physical, financial, money abundance, whatever that looks like, right? Whatever that is. And the first is that results don't lie. Results do not lie. Yeah, we'll get into that. Results don't lie. The second is that you can set a better intention. No matter what it looks like, no matter how good or how bad it's been, you can set a better intention. And then the final thing is that we become what we do every day. And so those are the three things that I want to leave with you tonight. So let's get into it. So I always choose a guiding scripture, and a scripture that is probably my favorite that I use all the time comes from Isaiah, and it is Isaiah 45:11. And it reads, "Thus says the Lord, the Holy One of Israel and his maker. Ask me of the things to come concerning my sons, and concerning the works of my hands, you command me." Concerning the works of my hands, you command me. Now, this scripture for me is so powerful because I don't know about you, but the way that I grew up was believing that I was waiting on God, that I was praying, and then I'm gonna wait on God. I'm gonna wait on God's timing. And when this scripture was shown to me, it really just blew my mind. Like, wait a minute. I'm not waiting on God, but God is waiting on me. And so I want to talk about how you command God. And that may even sound blasphemous for you to hear. That may sound like, oh my God, what are you talking about? Well, just stick with me. So what I want you to get more than anything else is that you are responsible for your spiritual abundance. You're responsible for it. Your mom is not responsible for it. Your dad is not responsible for it. Your sister is not responsible for it. You are responsible for your spiritual abundance. No one else. And in a world where things are uncertain, we've got this pandemic that's going on, no clear end in sight. You know, there's talk even that we may have to learn to live with it. The word I heard them use is endemic. I don't think I've ever used that word, and I'm a word person, and they use the word endemic. Like, okay, well, I don't know what that means, but it sounds like this thing going to be here with us for a little while. So, okay, I can live with that. Not the end of the world, not the greatest thing, but not the end of the world. So all of this uncertainty, all of this, we don't know what it's going to be. And even in the midst of that, I'm still responsible for my abundance. I'm responsible for it. It may seem like, the government should be doing more, and maybe they should, maybe. It may seem like, the people who know best about how to manage a situation like this, or have the capacity to, because they work in this field, that they maybe should make better choices. Yeah, that may be true. But nothing takes away my responsibility from my abundance. I'm responsible for it. And so that's why tonight I thought was so powerful, and why I wanted to go live and have this conversation about abundance, to just remind you that it's your responsibility. And since it's your responsibility, I want to talk to you about what you can do about it. So let me share with you a little bit about my abundance story. So I grew up in Houston, Texas. I grew up in, I guess, what I thought was a middle-class family until I got to college, and I saw a level of wealth that I had never experienced before. And I thought, there's a new way to live. There's a different way to live. But I was raised by a single mom, and she worked hard to put food on the table, to make sure that we had what we needed, to make sure that we were, that we had all the resources that she could possibly give us. And what she instilled in me and what drives me to this day is this ambition to have more, to be more, to do more. And I went off to college in search of getting rich. That's it. In bottom line, just let me just be transparent. I went off in search of that. And along the way, I discovered spiritual abundance. I discovered wealth in all of its other forms, right? Not just financial abundance, but health, mental strength, mental stamina, good relationships, good friends, people that you can really count on, people that really look out for you. Mental stimulation, being able to have good conversations and engage in good dialogue and read good literature, right? And I learned all of that. And then I really got turned on to this spiritual journey, which I talked about before with, what we call New Thought Christianity and studying the Bible metaphysically, right? So my life was really rich in many ways, but I felt like I had hit a brick wall because I was so busy saying wealth is more than money that I forgot that wealth includes money. I don't know if you heard that. I was so busy affirming that wealth is more than money and developing wealth in these other ways that I forgot to realize that wealth includes money. And I think that that's so important because so often we're so quick to say wealth is more than money because we don't want to, who knows, I'm going to just speak for myself, don't want to appear like I care only about money. I care only about finances. But I feel like we do ourselves a disservice if we don't walk through the front door and have a frank conversation about money. Because every dream that you have, every good thing that you want to accomplish in the world is going to require, every dream is going to require money. Every dream, no matter how noble it is, you might have the most noble dream ever, and it is still going to cost money. Someone had to fund the civil rights movement. Whether they funded it through bartering and sharing, but somebody had to spend the money to buy the food, to bake the pies, or to whatever that was going to be served, or to get the bus trip, or to put money. Money had to be had. Every dream requires money. And so it made me really back up and decide, okay, Sherry, you got to walk through the front door on this money thing. That you've got to challenge the people who hide behind wealth is more than money as an excuse not to have money. And you have got to put the foot down and have a frank conversation with this generation about abundance. And so that's the path that I'm on. And that's what has led me to be having these conversations that we're having now, and this conversation tonight specifically about manifesting money. So the first thing that I want to give you, and I mentioned it before, is that results do not lie. Now, you can say a lot of things, but your results prove what is actually happening. So one of the things that I teach is that we create our world. And many times when we look at the creations in our world, we don't want to believe, or we want to believe somebody else is responsible for them. At least I do. Sometimes I want to believe, especially some of the stuff that I'm not that happy about, I want to believe that somebody else is responsible for that, not me. Nah, not me. You know, so that is probably one of the biggest things I think that challenges people, is just realizing that, yeah, I do. I create my world. And if I create my world, how do I create my world? Well, I create my world through my thinking, right? As a man thinks, so is he. As I think in my mind, or thoughts held in mind reproduce after their kind, my life looks like how I'm thinking. And if my life looks like how I'm thinking, then the results of my life, what things look like in my life, are prove what's going on in my thinking. And so while I may want to affirm, yes, I'm abundant. I may want to affirm, yes, I am wealthy. I may want to affirm all those things, but my life is proving the real thoughts that I'm holding in my mind. And so when we are looking at our lives, I think it is essential. I think it's so important that we get honest about the results that are showing up in our lives. So let me be a little bit more specific. Let me take this out of the realm of money. So if we talked about health, and we looked at, and you told me, hey, Sherry, I've got a consciousness of health. And I'd say, okay, well, what do your results look like? You know, what does the body weight look like? What do your vital signs look like? What, you know, if I started to begin to examine all of the indicators of health, would they show a consciousness of health? And it's a yes or no question, because we've got benchmarks of what healthy looks like. We know what your white blood cell count should be. We know what your red blood cell count should be. We know what your oxygen levels should be. We know what your liver should look like, what your pancreas, how that should function, what the thyroid should look like. And we have some benchmarks as to what's considered a healthy weight versus an unhealthy weight, right? So those are things that we can look at. And so you can affirm, I am healthy all day long. And believe me, affirmations are good, and I believe in them. But at some point, you have to look at the results that you are getting and ask, is what I think I'm affirming showing up in my experience? Are the things that I say I've been affirming, are they showing up in my experience? And if they are not showing up in my experience, then I have some inventorying. Let's say that. I got some inventory that I need to do on my thinking, because results do not lie. And so this is a really key point. And it honestly is a difference between staying the same and moving forward. That's it. It is the difference between staying the same and moving forward. So often we do not move forward in our experience because we lack the ability to tell the truth, not making it worse than it is and not sugarcoating it, but to look at it as it is. We fail to tell the truth about where we are. And so the first thing that I want you to do when we talk about manifesting money is to get clear on where you are with money. If you decide that your desire is to live a modest lifestyle and you are genuinely at peace with that, you are genuinely happy and you are your most joyful, then you have the level of abundance that you desire. But if you find that you have too much stress around money, that you are not happy with where things are, and you would like to see more financial resources in your life, then the first thing is to get clear on your results and tell yourself the truth. No, this is not enough of what I desire. I desire more. No, this is not the fullness of what I think I can manifest. I expect to manifest more. That honesty, that, I don't want to say brutal because it sounds so bad, but that crystal clear clarity around your results, it's what is going to allow you to move forward. You know, they interviewed CEOs and they asked what was the greatest quality that allowed them to excel. And in different ways, they gave essentially the same answer. And one of the top answers was self-awareness. Self-awareness is it's the key that unlocks your future, because it's your ability to look at yourself, to examine what is on point about you and what is a growing edge. And I don't want you to beat yourself up, because I don't want to beat myself up. I don't believe that's a way to get to your goals. But I find that it's healthy to look thoughtfully at what you're experiencing and tell the truth about it. Don't sugarcoat it, because results don't lie. And here's the thing, when you do this, when you're able to look at a thing and call it what it is, no matter what it looks like, to say, you know what, I don't do this well, right? It doesn't mean that you won't ever do it well. It means that at this point, up to this point, that at this level of development, I do not do this well. When you can do that, you actually empower yourself to make a different choice. How do you know if you're looking at it in the right way? You know that you're looking at it in the right way if you feel empowered to make a better choice. See, when we the problem with beating ourselves up, right? The problem with putting ourselves down, with being super critical about who we are and what we're doing and where we're going and all that, being super critical, is that we're the builders of our tomorrow. You are the architect, you're the carpenter, you're the floor layer, you are the bricklayer, you are the HVAC installer, you are the appliance supplier, you are the builder of your tomorrow. And I want you to imagine that if you had a pool of money and you decided that you wanted to build a house, and you've got the perfect blueprint. You have spent all this time with journaling, planning, developing what it is that you want. You know that this is what you want to accomplish. And it's well thought out. It's extremely well appointed. The rooms are just exquisite. There's a phrase that I love. I experienced it one time in this home, and I said, this is what I want my forever home to look like. And I call it design surprises. It's where you enter a room and there are you didn't expect that design. You didn't expect it to look like that. Right? So design surprises. So you got in this home that you have laid out, it is lavishly appointed and it has all of these design surprises. And when you go in, it just feels lovely. And so you have laid out the plans, you have set aside the exact dollar amount that you need to spend in order to accomplish this home. And you go out and you find the best architect and construction company that you can, and you put them to work on your behalf. And you are excited because this home is coming together. But you're a moody one. And so every day you go to the construction site and you get a hammer and you begin to beat the construction worker over the head, or the head architect over the head. And every day that the architect and the planners and the builders come to build a house, you show up every day with a hammer in hand and beating them over the head. Now, they managed to get the work done, but what kind of house do you think you're going to have? All right, you are the builder of your tomorrow, and you running yourself down about the things that you don't do well is the equivalent of you showing up for a home that you have paid a builder to make and then beating them over the head every day while they build a house. We wreck our tomorrows with the harsh criticisms of today. So when I talk about looking at yourself as you are and being honest with yourself about where you are, what you do well and what you don't do well, I am in no way talking about putting yourself down. I am speaking of looking at your results with an unemotional eye. Looking and saying, in 2021, I really didn't set aside enough money for savings, or I didn't max out my 401k the way that I planned to. I don't need to tell a story about it. I don't need to berate myself. Oh, you're not going to get that time back. You could have taken advantage of this. You could have taken advantage of that. Oh, I didn't listen to the financial advisor. With an unemotional eye, look at the results in your experience. If you find that one of the results is that there's always more month than there is money, can you look at that with an unemotional eye? Because what you want to get clear on is, what are the intentions that are actually playing out in my experience? And so I want you to do this in terms of your money. This is one of the exercises. And I guess I should put this up. I released a journal at the top of this year called Manifesting Money Journal. And I want you to get a copy of it. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm doing this streaming software and I have zero idea how to post this link so that y'all can get it. So I'm going to, oh my God, that's what happens when you pick up technology and you didn't give yourself enough time. So with this planner, what it is an opportunity for you to get clear on what are the intentions that are actually happening in my experience. And so you can join my newsletter. You can go to revsherry.com and you can join my newsletter and you'll get access to this planner. But what this planner does is that it helps you to uncover the hidden intentions, the hidden beliefs and attitudes, thoughts, and feelings that are driving your financial experience. And so when you go through the planner, one of the things that you're going to do each month, and this is a daily tracker, is you're going to go in, you're going to print this out, and you're going to go in and you're just going to track your days. And all you're going to do is document thoughts, emotions, feelings, fears, concerns, any ahas that came up around money. You're not there's no right answer. So it could have been Saturday, January 1, spent money on the kids' soccer lessons, but maybe Thursday, January 6th was, felt really anxious around money today when I got ready to pay bills. Again, what you're doing is you are just notating whatever comes up. That's it, as you go through your day. And this planner is free, by the way. This is my gift to you. This planner is free, and so you can download it. And pick up right where you are. Where are we at? Today is the 23rd. You can pick up right with the 23rd and start working. This isn't something that if you didn't do it at the top of the year, you can't do it now. No, you can always get close to and have a better relationship with your intentions around money. So this is a tool that I have for you that's going to help you get clear on those intentions. Remember, results don't lie, but part of what keeps us from being able to see our results is that we don't live close to it. Our lives are so busy. Our lives are filled from end to end. And so we have no way to actually notice what's actually going on. And so this digital planner is a way for you to get clear on what's happening in the background, right? Because these thoughts are in the background. They're driving my experience. I can't really see them, but I'm experiencing their results. So results don't lie. So you have to get clear on what is happening in the background, because results do not lie. So that's one thing. But then once you do that, and this is the powerful part, is that we are never stuck. We are never, ever, ever, ever stuck. We always have the ability to begin a new path, to chart a new course. And that's so powerful. That's such a powerful thing to remember, that I'm never stuck. And the reason that I'm never stuck is that I always have the ability to set a new intention. No matter what has happened, no matter what I've been through, no matter if every day up till this moment, I haven't had the best intentions for my finances. Today, I can set a new intention. This is so powerful. And, setting an intention is concerning the works of my hands, you command me. Setting a new intention is the way that we command God, if you will. The Spirit does not move until we say what direction we want to move in. I always use this, and I always feel like it's getting old, but maybe it's not. Maybe people are still open to it. But I think about The Matrix and Neo, one of my favorite movies. And with The Matrix, there is a scene at the end of the film where Neo has come back to life and he was killed. I'm talking about The Matrix one. I know they have a new one out. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about The Matrix one. So he was killed, and Trinity kisses him and brings him back to life. And mind you, he's been shot by the agents. And one of the things that we know is that when you die in the Matrix, you die in real life. And so we watch him get shot, and we see the bullet go in. And then we cut back to the scene on the ship with Morpheus and the other 8 rebels. And we realize, oh my God, he's died. And we see his heart, the heart monitor, we see it flatline. And the mood is somber. But Trinity knows something. And she kisses him and brings him back to life. And we see him take that inhale, the breath of life, take that inhale. And she says, now get up. And we see him in the Matrix again, but he wakes up and he looks down the corridor and he sees the agents, and they realize, oh crap, he's not dead. And they turn to shoot him again, and he puts his hand out and says, no. And the bullets stop midair and then fall to the ground. And my favorite part, well, there's many favorite parts, but one of the favorite parts is when he flexes and the Matrix bends around him. And I don't even know if the filmmakers thought about this when they created that element of the film, but I think about how the world bends around us when we move or when we make a choice. That the universe literally bends to our intentions in our world. We are really, really clueless as to how powerful we are. We are just flat out clueless as to how powerful we are. And so I just want to encourage you to remember Isaiah 45:11. Concerning the works of my hands, you command me. Concerning the works of my hands, you command me. This is God speaking to you. And the way that you command God is through your intentions. What are your intentions for your money? Maybe you had been intending to have more month at the end of your money. Now, no one would own that, right? But if that's your experience, that's the underlying hidden intention, right? Whatever the experience is, it proves the underlying hidden intention. Maybe your intention was to have a series of calamities that eats up all of the income that you have. So even when you get a surplus, it runs out the door quickly because there's always something that needs a financial solution. Now, again, no one would own that, but we're coming out of the space where we're beating ourselves up for the experience that we're having. And we are looking at our results with an unemotional eye. And we are saying, hey, there's an underlying intention happening in my experience. Don't know that I can see it completely, but the results prove that it's there. And so now I'm going to set a new intention. What's the new intention? What's the new intention that you have? I wonder if I have that. I don't think I have it handy. I had this bracelet. We did this a few years ago. We did a campaign as a part of Lent, and we were working with May McCarthy's The Path to Wealth. And we had these silicone bracelets that we distributed to everyone. And I made up this activity for myself. I said, you know what? I'm going to do this affirmation, which was I am abundant, 50 times every hour on the hour from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. It's a little game I played with myself. And I would set my timer on my smartphone and it would go off every hour. And nobody knew what it was about. It was my thing. If I was by myself, I would say the affirmation aloud. I would say, I am abundant, I am abundant, I'm abundant. And I would just, turn the bracelet on my wrist. And then if I were with people, I would still do it, but I would just say it under my breath, right? I just keep it quiet. So there was a weekend when I was doing this game that I had made up for myself. It was just part of how I gamify spirituality, or I should say I gamify spiritual practice. And I'm always trying like different little things that are like, I don't know, my God games, I guess you can call them. That's a book. But anyway, my little God games. And so that was one of them. So I noticed that in between when my timer went off, my mood would slip. And I remember feeling badly about it at the end of the day when I was reflecting on the experience of the weekend. And then I realized, no, actually, I'm grateful. And the reason I'm grateful is that had I not had this little exercise that I had given myself, I may not have even noticed the anxiety. I had this low-grade anxiety happening in the background around money. I had some expenses that were coming in and I didn't know if they were going to beat they were going to get there before the funds that were going to cover them. So it was like, hey, I'm going to need y'all to meet in the middle. So there's no overdraft fees. And I didn't know whether or not that was going to happen. And I remember the anxiety that I had. But again, I would not have noticed it if I didn't have that little game I was playing with myself. And it made me begin to think, what other places in my life do I have this low-grade anxiety operating in the background? Remember, I only noticed it because of the bracelet that I was wearing and the little game that I had given myself. Isaiah 45:11, concerning the works of my hands, you command me. It is the intentions of our lives that have caused our lives to look the way that they do. It's not an accident. That's so powerful, because we really want to blame family members. We want to blame coworkers. We want to blame the government. We want to blame the people on the other side of the political aisle, whatever political aisle you're on. Somebody, but not me. Somebody's got to be responsible for this, but not me. Don't let it be me. Please don't let it be me. And I am telling you that the way that we live our lives, many times there are things operating in the background that we are not present to. We can't see it. And it's just underneath the surface, and it's driving the experience. It's what's moving the car. It's the fuel in the gas tank. And so when I got present to that, I thought, oh, okay, thank you, Spirit, for revealing that to me, right? Not going to beat up Sherry, because the Sherry of today is the builder of Sherry's tomorrow. So I'm not going to put a hammer in her hand and beat her up for feeling anxious about money. What I am going to do is I'm going to set a new intention. And so one of the things that I learned is that we never really have an output problem. We only ever have an input problem. Whatever you take in, let's move this into the realm of diet. Whatever you take into your mouth is going to determine what happens in your body. Now, it may happen over time. It may not be an overnight thing, but whatever you put in, eventually it's going to express out. And so the work then is not on what is coming out, because that's not where the problem started. Imagine if you started manipulating things in the outer. That wouldn't help you very much, especially if you never changed what's going in. And so the way that you set a better intention for your experience is that you've got to get intentional about the input. You got to get intentional about what you are taking in. Okay. If we were sitting in a class, I'd say, let's breathe with that. Tell me what you think about that. Let me know what you think about that. And I want to shout out to Randy. Hey, Randy. Shout out to Marcia. Shout out to y'all. I'm glad you guys are here with me today. Shout out to Robin, to Kai, to Leslie, to Carol and Douglas. I just want to shout you guys out. Thank you for being here on the live stream. Thank you for being a part of this. But let me know. Let me know how this is landing with you. Leave me a comment. Just let me know what's going on. What's happening, and where is it happening, and how is it happening in you? We never have an output problem. We only ever have an input problem. There is a speaker that I love, Neville Goddard. He's long since made his transition. He is from Barbados. And if you ever get a chance to just take a listen to anything from Neville Goddard, trust me, you will love it. Anyway, Neville Goddard, go check him out. But one of his phrases that I love, and I just adopted as my own, is that ends, E-N-D-S, ends run true to origins. Ends run true to origins, meaning the end looks like the beginning. The end looks like the beginning. What are you doing in the beginning? Because it's going to determine what the end looks like. The end is controllable. The end is a controllable thing. Where you're going is a controllable thing. Carolyn Douglas says Neville Goddard is amazing. And yes, he is. The end is a controllable thing. And the way that you control the end is that you get hyper intentional about the beginning. So the reason that we're never stuck is that we always have the power to set a new intention. And so when you find that you've got a hidden intention that's underneath the surface, that's driving the experience, and it's an experience that you no longer want, then what you want to do is start with setting a new intention for what you do want. And the way that you set the intention, right? Because all of us, it's the beginning of the year. We're all setting new intentions for the year. So I want to get clear on what I mean by set the intention. You set the intention by choosing a set of inputs that you are going to take in on a daily basis. You determine a set number of inputs that you are going to take in on a daily basis. What do I mean by that? Get clear with me, Reverend Sherry. Make it make sense, right? Because I'm trying to track with you. I'm trying to follow you. I don't know what you mean by this input output. Okay. So one of the journeys that I have been on is a health journey. Now, years ago, I decided I wanted to leave a legacy of health. And I grew up in a family where what you did is you grew up and you got fat. That's what growing up meant. And that was a really, really anyway, that's what it was. Growing up meant getting fat. Anyway, so I grew up and I said, you know what? I want to set a new intention. I don't want this experience anymore. And I want to do life in my ideal body at my ideal size. That's what I care about. That's what's important to me. That's what I intend to do. That's what I want to do. Right. So at the top of last year, I said, you know what, Sherry, I am going to exercise every day. I'm going to do something every day. Every day I'm going to, whatever it is. And it's going to be, I'm going to start small because I used to be someone that worked out every day. And then, life happened and that stopped happening. And so I said, I'm going to pick this back up. I'm going to work out every day. And in doing that, what I realized was that I was setting an intention, right? And I had this input that was happening every day of my experience. And the input, I was willing for the input to be small. So I started with 2 sit-ups and 2 push-ups. All that mattered was that I did it every day. I didn't judge myself on, 2 sit-ups and 2 push-ups ain't doing nothing. I didn't have that conversation with myself. I knew that when you are putting in a new intention, that consistency is more important than intensity. And so I don't need to go hard in the paint. I just need to consistently show up. And so success was 2 sit-ups and 2 push-ups. So even if I got to the end of the day, and I had not done those 2 sit-ups and 2 push-ups, that bar was so low that I could literally drop to the floor before I get into bed and do 2 sit-ups and 2 push-ups. So I believe in baby steps. That small input was enough to start the ball rolling. I'm never stuck because I can always set a better intention. So maybe I can't go all the way to the extreme of I'm working out and I'm working with a trainer and I'm, really, whatever the extreme looks like for you. Maybe you can't go there right now. But I can do this small thing that communicates to myself. I'm not trying to communicate to the world. It communicates to myself. In fact, I have a friend who I shared this with. I shared this with my buddy, with personal development people. We love, stuff like that. And I shared this with him because I was, talking about, tiny habits. And and he really razzed me about this, like this, how silly it was to do 2 sit-ups and 2 push-ups. And what I had to come to is that I'm trying to communicate to my subconscious mind, not his subconscious mind. It is my subconscious mind that has to get it. And setting that intention and following through on that intention, today I am 40 pounds lighter. We always have the power to set a new intention. We always have the power to set a new intention. So let me pick up where we are. So first is results don't lie. The second is that I can set a new intention. And my third point for you is that we become what we do every day. We become what we do every day. So, and again, I'm giving you these broad strokes, but I want you to take this and apply this to your money. So get clear, look at your money with an unemotional eye. What's the story? What's are you 60 and you haven't done a good job saving and preparing for retirement? Or are you 30 and you are always got more month at the end of the money, or there you go, more month at the end of the month? Like what? Just an unemotional eye. Look at your work. Look at the results of your experience. And then set a new intention. But by set a new intention, what I mean is daily action. I want us to move out of the idea that intention is just what I speak with my mouth, and get that intention is also or includes what I do with my body, right? What I do, what habit the habits I do in my life. And then finally, we become what we do every day. Looking back, this is hindsight. The thing that enabled me to release those 40 pounds and to continue moving to my ideal body weight and size is that my only promise to myself is that I would never give up and I would never stop. That was my only promise. And there were, and let me back up. I should give you a little bit more detail. So one of the other things that happened is that every 10 days, I would reevaluate the intention, the way I was living the intention, and I would decide if I was going to intensify it in some way. So let's say January 1, I was doing 2 sit-ups and 2 push-ups. Well, January 10, I would look at that and say, okay, I would weigh in, I would take my measurements, and I'd see, is there any change? And then 2 sit-ups and 2 push-ups. No, there was no change. Okay, great. Am I ready to add maybe 3 more? Let me go to 5 sit-ups and 5 push-ups. And then I would up it to 5 sit-ups and 5 push-ups. And then January 20, take my measurements, weigh in. And then I would say, am I ready to add maybe a couple more? Or, I don't know. This has been kind of tough. I'm gonna stay at that 5, right? So every 10 days, what's happening is I'm looking at the results of the intention that I set. For 7 months, there was no movement. Mind you, I advanced past the 2 sit-ups and 2 push-up stage pretty fast. And I got to, some serious cardio on a daily basis, probably about mid-February. And so I thought, I'm gonna really see some results. And for 7 months, all the way to July 2021, absolutely no results. I felt better because I was moving, but other than that, no movement whatsoever. No movement on the scale, no movement on the inches. And my only promise to myself is that I would not give up. Looking back, what I can tell you is that we become what we do every day. We become what we do every day. So these are my 3 points. Results don't lie. I set a new intention. And remember, intention means really, it's an intention when there's a behavior attached to it. Other than that, it's just words. And then we become what we do every day. That what enabled that success to be 40 pounds lighter and sustaining it, not struggling to keep it and all of that is the commitment to do the thing every day. And so the question that I have for you, or the challenge that I have for you, is what is the thing that you are going to do every day in order to move your finances forward? It could be something as simple as, I'm going to watch videos on good financial habits. And I'm going to watch one video a day, right? It could be, in fact, with health, that's one of the things that I did. With health, one of my habits is I look at something good about health, about good health every day. 5-minute video, 10-minute video, 15-minute video. It just depends on the kind of time that I have. But it's, again, remember, you never have an output problem, only an input problem. So I'm getting intentional about that input. I'm getting intentional about what it is that I am taking in. We become what we do every day. Now, what I want to talk to you about also is that I make doing all of this a game, right? I believe in that if you turn life into a game, that it is an easier game to play, right? So one of the things that I do is I track all of this. And so I have a Excel spreadsheet that I'm trying to think, I have it handy. I think I do. Let me see if I have one. Let's see what comes up. It says Excel is not responding. Of course it's not. Anyway, so in this Excel spreadsheet, oh yeah, here we go. Let me show this to you. I do have it. So this is really, really simple. And I do this every day. And I consider this like my miracle tracker. And this is my 10-day thing. And so I choose 4 things in a month. So these are the categories. Spiritual growth. I'm gonna make this bigger so you guys can see it. Okay. So spiritual growth and making a difference, right? So maybe you're not a spiritual person and you don't like the word spirituality. All right, fine. Call it making a difference. But what are 4 things that I'm going to do every day that is part of my spiritual growth? That's what I'm looking at. It could be less than 4. It could be just 2 things, right? But these are these intentions, right? Personal growth. What are the things that I'm going to do to grow or to improve my personal growth? And then health and appearance. What are the things that I'm going to do to improve my health and appearance? Again, I choose 4, but it could be 3 or it could be 2. Then you have career and business and financial. What are the things that I'm going to do here? And then free time, family time, and relationships. What are the things that I'm going to do here? And then literally check the boxes. That's it. You check the boxes and it's, did you do it? Did you not do it? It's that simple. And then you got, well, how many things could you have done? Let's say you filled out all of them. So that's 20. So total number of daily, let me get my little thing. Total number of daily tasks down here, right? Let's say that in that 10-day period, all 20 of those things were filled out. And so right down there, you would type 20, and then you go through and you look and you say, how many check marks do I have? And we're going to say, oh, you know what? I had a perfect day, right? And so, okay, great. I did 20 things. And then it's 20 divided by 20, right? That literally is something that I do. And it's a game I play with myself. It's a game I play with myself. Again, because what I'm doing is I am gamifying my life. I am putting myself in position to fulfill the things that are important to me. And so under health and appearance, under that category, I had, 2 sit-ups and 2 push-ups. And then it was simple. Did I do it? Did I not do it? Then I had a little check mark there. And so I'm always looking at the results that I am getting, but I am taking my attention and putting the bulk of my attention on the seeds that I'm sowing, on those daily seeds that I'm sowing. So I hope I've given you guys a lot of value. I want to extend an invitation to you because it is tools like this that you are going to find in my new course. I've got, if you like what you heard tonight and you feel like, you want to go deeper, I want to extend an invitation to you to be a part of my new course, Manifesting Money. We're going to be talking about very specific tools that you can use to improve your finances in 2022 and beyond. What I know for sure is that everyone who wins needs a coach. Michael Jordan needs a coach. Serena Williams needs a coach. Everyone who wins needs a coach. And I am opening up my course, Manifesting Money, to invite you to be a part of the course. You can go to my website, to manifestingmoney.revsherry.com, and you can learn more about the course. This is a powerful, powerful course that is built around Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. And we are going to be talking about how do you create wealth? And hopefully you've gotten a sense of how I like to make things really, really practical. I am so confident that this course is going to make a difference in your experience that I want to encourage you to sign up and to give you a money back guarantee when that if you are unhappy with it, that I will give you your money back. This work that I have done as an abundance teacher to step into the shoes of the Edwene Gaines of the world, the Reverend Ikes of the world, is backed also by the credentials that I have as a financial professional. So there is the practical aspect of this in terms of like, what do you actually do with your money? Like, where should that money be invested? And what's going on with me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that's interfering with me having money? This course is 10 weeks in length. Now, enrollment is open now, but it closes on January 31st so that I can concentrate on the people who are already signed up in the course. The first module for the course drops tomorrow. So if you join tonight, your first module literally starts tomorrow. And the first module that we're working on is actually called The Right to Be Rich. That what we actually deal with in this course is helping you understand, helping you develop a mindset to be okay with being rich. And that is, I can't stress how powerful that is. There are so many people who want wealth, but don't feel like they have a right to wealth. And they don't know how to get behind the underlying intentions that are keeping them from having wealth. And so in this course, we address this. Now, the course itself is going to be powerful. But one of the things that I'm really excited about is that you're going to get some powerful coaching from me. So the course is a combination of self-study and lives. So you start with the audio course. You'll need to get the book. You can get that on your own, but it's available also for free in many different places. And so you'll get the book and you'll work through the course materials. And then we have the Early Risers Club at 6 a.m. Sorry for the folk on the West Coast, but I do believe in getting up early. We have the Early Risers Club, and we're going to get together on Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. and we are going to work through this material. See, you deserve wealth. You deserve happiness. You deserve to have the good things of your heart. And so I want to encourage you right now to go to my website. I'm going to post the link here for you, so you can go in and sign up and join the course. I will give you a 25% discount on the course. The discount code is newsletter 2022. Newsletter 22. Copy that. Newsletter 22. So I want to encourage you to be a part of this course. This combines 25 plus years of experience working with these principles, studying with people like Reverend Della and Reverend Mary and Reverend Johnny and Reverend Edwin Gaines and others, and also doing the work to become a financial advisor. And so I am encouraging you to take advantage of it. This course is, it's the next level in breaking through what is going on with you financially and making a difference in your experience. And so I just encourage you, again, enrollment closes on January 31st. I encourage you to go to my website to check it out. And it is manifestingmoney.revsherry.com. And you don't want to miss out on this. I think this is going to be a good one. And I promise you this, because my team is already working. First of all, they didn't want me to give this discount. That's the first thing. But the second thing is that this is the beta version of the course, because we have a more high-end version that's coming. And so I want to encourage you to take advantage of it at this price point, that it will never be this low again. I promise you. It will never be this low again. But go ahead, sign up, come be a part of the course. I think that you will really, really enjoy it. And if there are questions, I will take some questions. I see some of the comments that are there. Marcia says, I definitely need to get a better mindset so I can pull in abundance. Yes, that's one of the things that we address in this course. And, you know, the thing that's powerful, Marcia, is that this is really an opportunity for you to feel safe, right? This is a private course where you get to have your whatever is going on with you. Right? Whatever's happening with you, we get to really dive in and address that. Randy said, this word is a confirmation intention that the alkaline vegan fast powered by Dr. Sebi's nutritional guide is for my highest good, 40-day Lent fast. All right. Yes. Health is our wealth. Absolutely. Let me check and see if there are any other questions on other platforms. Okay, Shamika says, how does the early riser session correlate to the modules? Will each early riser session cover one module a week? Also, will it be via Zoom? Great question. So yes, except the first one is going to be a combination of the first two modules. And it just happens because it lands on the same weekend. The first Saturday is the Saturday that we're on the retreat. So and we have a retreat for Up Church that's coming up. So the Early Risers Club will start that first Saturday in February. But yes, it's one module per Saturday. So the idea is that you listen to the audio. I have a worksheet that you listen to because I want to encourage active listening. So there's the worksheet. You're working through the material, and then you have getting your questions together. And then there is a thinking right afterwards, because I want to help you to process what you heard and to really drill down to the information that came through, right? So I want you to have that. And then from that, that's going to bring up whatever questions you have. And then that's what you bring to the Early Risers Club. So the Early Risers Club won't start January 31st, but that 30th, but that's just because I have the retreat for Up Church, but it will start the following Saturday, which I believe is the 5th of February. Great question. Let me know if there are any other questions. Checking the platforms. Oh, I guess I should put this here. Let me let you make sure you also have for the free digital planner. Make sure you have the planner. This is a free resource that if you do nothing else, that this will help you to really just get present to what are those underlying hidden intentions. What are those things that are driving my experience that I can't see? I can feel it, I'm experiencing it. I can see that there's always more month than there is money, but I can't really figure out like what the heck it is that I'm doing that's making it show up like this. This planner will help you do that. It's a very, very powerful resource. And the cost is your time to sit and do the work. If you're willing to sit and do the work, you can reveal to yourself everything that's going on in your experience and then be able to do something about it. So very, very powerful. Any other questions? Just want to check in. Wonderful. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys in the course. I am very, very excited for this. And I promise you, you don't want to miss this opportunity because what we have coming next, it'll never be this low again. That's just facts. All right. I bless you to be the abundant spiritual being that you are. I give thanks for you being here with me this evening. And I appreciate you. I'll hang around afterwards in the comments and answer any other questions that you might have and respond to them. But I just want to thank you so much for tonight, so much for being a part of this evening. God bless you.